Now coming down to the expectation settings from this ServiceNow developer program. So basically, I would like to put forward the things. What all things we are going to cover, I will be taking up that in our next slide. Along with that, I will be providing you a personal instance, or you can say a replica of the exact tool that is available in the market, which you use of ServiceNow. So it is exact replica is something that I'm going to provide. Whatever we are going to do, I am going to present a PPT in front of you. Whatever concepts we learn over here in our PPT, I will be demonstrating that. I will be taking up that using a use case in that free version of the instance, which I have just told you that the demo instance, I will be doing it. Each one of you will be having your own development instance ready. So these sort of activities is something that we are going to do in our ServiceNow development plus admin program. Initially, we will start with the admin part, and then my course is designed to move into the development. So people who are interested into admin plus development, they can move ahead with it. Okay. So this is from my side, and I think Abhishek, I have spoken with you yesterday, so I know the background that you carry with yourself. So all of the things are clear to me. So okay, with this, let us start with the contents that I am going to cover in my ServiceNow training. So I will cover the basics of the cloud infrastructure. Then I will take up the ServiceNow tool. What are ServiceNow instances? What are the versions? What is impersonation of ServiceNow? What are tables, forms, and fields that we see in ServiceNow? The tables of incident, problem, change, knowledge, all of this. Apart from that, can we create any other tables in ServiceNow? Do we have forms? How do we make forms? How do we create fields on those forms? This is something that we are going to understand. Then we will understand the basic details about the ITSM modules, like problem, change, knowledge, incident, what all these things do, why did they come into existence, and how we are going to, what all each one of them have their functionality associated with them. Then we will understand about the UI policies, business rules, UI actions, client scripts. So basically, just don't go by the name that it is some sort of policy or business kind of rules or UI. You know, these are entirely technical concepts. So we will be understanding about that. Then we will get to know about notifications like the automated emails that are sent from ServiceNow to you whenever a ticket is assigned or something like that. So how do we develop that? What on what conditions we do it? All of this does not require any coding so far. Then we will understand the things that I also take is the importing of data from external sources into ServiceNow, like Excel sheet is provided to you. So from that, can we import the data and put it in some sort of like incident, problem, change tables? Can we do that with the help of Excel sheet, with the help of XML records? Or is there from any external data source like shared drive is there? Can we import the data from there and bring it into ServiceNow? Can we export the data from ServiceNow into any Excel sheet, XML, or any external source, like to any third-party tool, to any shared drive folder, to any data source that is available? So can we do that? So all of these things. Then we will take reports, dashboards creation, reports creation, how they are managed in ServiceNow, how we can maintain it. Then we will learn about service catalog, workflows, and flow designers in our admin part. These all parts will be covered in admin. After that, we will move into server side and the client side scriptings, the basics of JavaScript, which will cover these aspects of the classes, and the script includes. We will be learning about scheduled jobs and events that are there in ServiceNow, inbound email actions, any scoped application, what is a scoped application, custom application creation in ServiceNow, all of this. Then for development, we will understand about the basics of integration, like inserting and creating records in the third-party application using REST and SOAP methodology. I will be demonstrating that if you take the development session. Then there is this introduction to service portal. Service portal also exists in ServiceNow. So how do we configure that service portal? How do we maintain its functionality? How do we develop it? All of this is something that we will do. And of course, the real-time scenarios we will cover. Okay. So this is going to be the content of our ServiceNow admin plus development training, which will include all the aspects, and it would be a very interesting live session, interactive session. That is something that I look forward to. And as I have mentioned, like I do not want to keep it PPT sharing and just listening and going away. It should be an interactive session where you get to ask questions to me, where I ask questions to you, where I give assignments and you develop those things. All sort of these things will be provided. If you are looking for guidance in resume building, searching for jobs, looking out for opportunities in other companies, so I have good connections with companies, HRs and all. I can help you with that as well. I will help you create your profile on naukri.com, or if you are looking for jobs outside India, or if you want to develop your resume in a more standard way, which is, so the tips and tricks, I will be taking a separate session for that, uh, for those individuals who are interested into that as well. All right. So with this, let us move ahead and understand the very basic concept. Okay. So let me ask you, start with a very basic question. What is a cloud? So when I ask what is a cloud, most of the people, they think of a storage device or something like that, but they do not think of a very simple term. What is a cloud? Like if you look in the environment at the top of your head, you will be able to see some clouds moving here and there. I'm talking about that cloud. What does it do? It stores water, right? So if we look at the water cycle that we have gone through right from the beginning of our childhood, we have learned about this, that there is a water body on the right hand side of my screen. You can see this large water body. Water evaporates from here and gets stored in these clouds. Then there is a movement of these clouds from one location to another. They deliver the same water which they picked up from one location, and they deliver the same water at some other location. This process continues. So analogous to this, do we have something called as cloud computing that exists? Yes, we do. So what happens that in place of water from the water cycle, we put large data. That is, we call it as big data. That means a huge amount of data which cannot be moved physically from one location to another unless you take it from a hard disk in the form of hard disk. You need to physically move the data. But somehow, if I give you the authority to put that data in some server, in some storage device, and that storage device is accessible from every location wherever you are on this planet. So with a user ID and password, you can access the information that you put in that storage device. So that storage device is called as cloud. All right. So cloud is nothing but a collection of servers which has a storage capacity, and it can be accessed from anywhere on this earth. So if you upload a data in the cloud from India, you share the credentials for that cloud for accessing that data to anyone in the US, they will be able to do it in real time. So basically, without the physical movement of the data from one location to another, you have been able to access the data or share the data from one person to another. A very big example of it is Google Drive. So in Google Drive, you put some photos or images or videos or whatever, and that can be accessed from anywhere at any location. So that is a cloud storage facility. So cloud is nothing but a collection of servers to store data that can be accessed from anywhere. It is maintained by a third party and there is no direct involvement of the end users. So I gave you an example of Google Drive. Google Drive is storing your data. So Google is the third party which is storing your data, and it is being accessed by some other person. So between you and that person, there is this third party, which is Google, which is used to store your data. It provides you security about your data. It provides you, the storage space. So that is what the third party means. And there is no direct involvement. I mean, you are not involved directly how they are maintaining that data, where they are storing that data, inside water, outside water, in data centers, wherever. You are not worried about that. So that is why it is not involving you directly. You just care about the data that you put. All right. Now, you must be wondering why so far we are not moving into ServiceNow, because this training is focused on ServiceNow. Why we are learning this cloud. Because ServiceNow is a cloud computing tool. Why ServiceNow is a cloud computing tool is something that I want to tell you, and that is why I am taking this much amount of time in letting you know about cloud. I will be coming to a point where I will be connecting the dots and you will get to know why ServiceNow is a cloud computing tool. So cloud computing has many forms, but the three major forms of it are software as a service, platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service. As the name suggests, software as a service. That means a software would be there and it is being provided as a service. So it is called SaaS. So in it, what happens, like Google Drive we are talking about. So Google Drive is a software itself. If I ask you to change the button or create a new button in Google Drive, you won't be able to do that. If I ask you to change some functionality in Google Drive, you won't be able to do that. It is a simple software where certain buttons are there, certain functionality is fixed in it. You cannot change that. So it is a software which has been provided as a storage facility to you. Okay, where you can go and upload your data and everything. So that is what my software as a service mean. All right. Then we have this platform as a service. Suppose in that software of Google Drive, I give you the authority to create buttons. I give you the authority to modify the theme, modify the buttons on the left hand side. You can increase more functionality, basically build on top of that software or platform, right? So if I do something like that, I give you a basic platform, and on top of that, I give you the authority to develop the functionality, to make new things on it, customize it according to your need or your customer's need. Then it is called as platform as a service. Now here we come to a point where we get to know ServiceNow is a platform as a service tool. Why? Because first of all, if you create tickets in ServiceNow, incident, problem, change, knowledge, they get stored not on your personal systems, not on any hardwares that are there in your systems. It gets stored in the data centers of ServiceNow. So basically it is storing a device. It fulfills this criteria of being a cloud. Then it is giving you a platform. On top of it, you can build something. Like on the incident form, if you have to create a new field, if you have to develop a new functionality, if you have to develop new features according to customers. So on top of the basic platform which they give, you can build on top of those things. So this is the second criteria for being a platform as a service. So that is what my service now is, and that is why it is categorized as platform as a service. Now, the third part is infrastructure as a service. It is simple. You take a home. Inside that home, you put multiple servers, and those servers are just like used for storage facility. It's as simple as that. So that is what my infrastructure as a service is, like AWS and Microsoft Azure. These are the most basic forms of cloud computing storage facility, where they provide you with empty space and you can store whatever you want. You can take out whatever you want. So this is what my infrastructure as a service is. All right. So that is what my objective of telling you about cloud and cloud computing and platform as a service being ServiceNow. So that is why I told you about all of this. Now, SaaS software is licensed on a subscription basis and is centrally hosted. Example: Gmail, Dropbox, Outlooks, Google Drive. Platform as a service. Platform is licensed. It is complete development and deployment environment like Salesforce, ServiceNow, SCCM. Infrastructure is hosted at a service, and servers are provided to store data. Like examples are AWS, Microsoft Azure. These are the examples of infrastructure as a service. Now we come to a point where we
Sorry to cut
understand
you.
what's
Sorry to cut you off,
yes.
Nikhil. Can you go to the last slide? I just have a question in infrastructure as a as a service, if you don't mind. So in
Mhm.
we have mentioned AWS and Microsoft Azure, right? So are we not concerned in this part what exactly we do it? Because in software as a service, we know it's a license based, and we are not concerned about there is no option for customization. But in second one, you
Mhm.
can customize it. In the third one, are we? I mean, do we get any Are we concerned about what's going at the back end from AWS or maybe Azure in this case,
So,
infrastructure?
so basically, AWS is not only locally limited to this part. You know,
Mhm.
AWS and Microsoft Azure has a very wide wings. It has
Right.
inside IaaS, there are multiple facilities which can be, I mean, multiple components can be there, which can be broken from this infrastructure as a service. Now, let us consider this example. Suppose I have I'm working in TCS. In TCS, I have a portal where I log in. So as an employee, I log in. So similar to me, there are multiple employees which log into TCS systems. So their user ID, password, and their database is being maintained somewhere, right? So that
Right.
database is being maintained. I have the authority. I can maintain it being TCS. I will take a space. I will have my own servers over there, and I will put in the data of my users. I will maintain the security, firewall, all of this space, cooling, and all of this is something. There is a cost associated with it. But there comes Amazon. They say that this is an empty space that I'm giving it to you. You just
Mhm.
store your users' data over there and do not get worried about what all things are associated, like the security. You do not have to worry. You do not have to worry about the firewall or anything. You just store your data and fetch the data whenever required. I will only charge for the storage space that you are occupying, nothing more. So that is something related to infrastructure as a service. Amazon is hosting infrastructure as a service.
Okay.
As I told you that AWS has a wide range of services that it can offer. It can even act as platform as a service. It can even act as software as a service. So inside, if you go infrastructure as a service, you will deeply understand that not only IaaS can be broken down into multiple types of cloud services that it can do. But since we are learning here related to platform as a service, so I have kept this short only limited to these three portions. Okay. And
Okay.
since we are concerned with ServiceNow, so we are going to understand the basics concepts of about ServiceNow and the platform as a service specifications that it provides. All right. If you want to
Yep.
know more, I can give you, you know, the links from where you can know more about infrastructure as a service, AWS, why it is infrastructure as a service, what all things and components are there in infrastructure as a service. But that would be an entirely different thing from ServiceNow development.
Right,
All
because
right.
these terminologies, SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS, these are frequently used terminologies. So that's why
Yes. Yes.
I just want to
We
clarify.
Yeah, being a developer, being anywhere, you must have heard this word. These three words, SaaS, PaaS, IaaS. Everybody knows that these kind of things exist. And yes, so these are cloud computing. So the future is cloud actually. So anything that you are doing, you are not going to maintain its data. You will have to have a storage space where you will be putting that data. That company will be charging for the space, and if there is any sort of breach happening, they will have a contract written with you where they will pay the penalty to you or something like that. So these kind of things, they are going to take over everything. AI is coming, then machine learning is there. All of these technologies in conjunction together will form something like you must have heard about this metaverse of Facebook. So these are
Mhm.
these, you know, we are advancing towards virtual reality. That is what the objective of. So all of these things together put, they combine into a sphere which is of the future. That is going to be the next level. So that is why we say that cloud is the future. Cloud computing is something that we need to learn. AWS, Microsoft Azure, people are moving into that. Artificial intelligence, machine learning, all of these. So that is something that is going to happen. All right. Shall we move ahead?
Yes, Nikhil, I'm all good. Thanks.
All right. That's good. So Now let us move on to ServiceNow and understand what is ServiceNow, from where did it come into existence. So now I have already explained you that ServiceNow is a cloud computing company. Why it is a cloud computing company, you already know. It was founded in 2004 by Fred Luddy. This guy, Fred Luddy, happens to be the chief technical officer uh, of Remedy Corporations. So you must know that before ServiceNow, there was a tool called as Remedy, which was used for raising tickets and all. So ServiceNow is taking over the Remedy tool very quickly. So he was the chief technical officer of Remedy Corporations. He left Remedy and in 2004 founded ServiceNow. Since then, ServiceNow has been on the rise, and in 2015 it peaked, and since then it has been going on above, only up. Nothing. It is not coming down very soon. So ServiceNow is a cloud-based software platform. We know why it is a cloud-based software platform for IT service management, which helps to automate IT business management. It is designed based on ITIL guidelines to provide service orientation for task, activities, and process. So many confusing terms here. All right, let us simplify this. Suppose in my organization, I have this HR with me. I got my salary credited and I see that there are some issues with my salary. I want to discuss it with my HR. So what I will do, I will go and write an email to the HR, ask for a time from the HR, and will the HR. It depends on the mercy of the HR whether they will respond or not. Whether they will, most of the times it is ignored. That is my personal experience, the emails and everything. So in place of that, I come up with a solution. I come up with a tool, and in that tool, I have the way of raising a ticket and assigning it to the HR. Now there is an SLA associated with that tool, with that ticket. There is this time within which the ticket needs to be resolved. There is a written proof that yes, there was something assigned to HR and HR needs to answer. If they miss out on it, then their KRA will be hit, then their KPIs will not be met. So this is something that we are doing. So basically, we are managing the services within an organization. So that is what we are doing. We are doing the service management within an organization with the help of this tool. So that tool is nothing but ServiceNow. So ServiceNow is managing the services within your organization. So that is why it is called as IT service management tool. It helped you to automate this business process. So this business management is something that it is doing. And of course, there are certain guidelines that are written which optimize your company's performance if you follow those guidelines. So that the guideline is ITIL guideline, which is Information Technology Infrastructure Library guidelines. So like change, problem, knowledge, incidents, then requests, all of this comes under those part. So ITIL guideline is this, and that is in accordance. ServiceNow is in accordance with these guidelines. So that is why ServiceNow is taking over everything. No matter which industry you are in, you will always have to issue reports. You will always have to, report issues to someone. You will always have concerns, be it pharmaceutical company, be it in the steel industry, medical industry, be it any industry, IT industry, there will be issues. So that is why ServiceNow is a very growing tool in the market, and it is taking over most of the things that we know. Now, ServiceNow is very easy to integrate within your environment, so that is why it is quickly running within an enterprise. It does not require much configuration. Low code and no code is the objective of ServiceNow. So that is what it is focused on, and that is why it is being utilized and integrated within the system very quickly. So ServiceNow is taking over a lot of things these days. Now I was talking to you about the demo tool of ServiceNow. So how we procure this from ServiceNow's website. So that is something that we will know. So here, am I still on? How much time are we left with? 9 minutes. Okay. Yeah. So that is fine. So here I will tell you like how you can procure your free ServiceNow instance, free ServiceNow tool basically. That is an exact replica of the market level tool that you work upon or might have worked upon or might have seen in ServiceNow, which companies are using. So ServiceNow provides this interface, a demo, where it contains most of the functionality is free of cost. So you go to this website, developer.servicenow.com, and with the browser, within the browser itself, you will type developer.servicenow.com. Here, when you log into it, you will come to this page. Right now, I'm already logged in, so I need to log out first. So this is the page where you will be landing in on first. After this, since you do not have an email ID or password created for it, so you will have to sign up and start building. When you click on this sign up, it will ask for your name, email address, country, password, and all of these things. You need to do the formalities. You will be prompted by an activation email, verification email on your email address. There will be a link. You need to click on that link. And once you click on that link, your ID and password will be activated. All right. Now what will happen? You need to go back again to developer.servicenow.com. Here you need to click on this sign in button. Once you click on this sign in button, you will have to enter this email which you just created. Click on this next. After that, it will ask you for password. You enter that password. Once you enter into that password, you will be redirected to this page. Here it will ask you to start building. Before start building, it will ask you which version do you want to use. So in ServiceNow, what happens that right now there are multiple versions. So you must have played some game. So in games, versions are launched, like version 1, version 2, version 3. What are those versions? Basically, those versions are like the bug fixes and the new features that have been added to the game. So similar to it, ServiceNow also comes up with bug fixes and new features, and it launches in its versions. These versions are named after cities name in ServiceNow, and they go in the alphabetical order. So ServiceNow started with A, letter A. The first version was Aspen, which happens to be a city. Then the other one was Berlin, B for Berlin. C, D, E, F, it went on. Then it came to K, Kingston, L, London, M, Madrid, N, New York, O, Orlando, P, Paris, Q, Quebec. So right now, ServiceNow has these three running, which are in San Diego, Rome, and Quebec. These are the ones that are the most recent ones. Tokyo is getting launched very soon. Though the content is available for Tokyo, but when you will click on it and try to procure Tokyo instance, it will not give you that version. So right now we are on San Diego. Every organization is working on San Diego. And when I click on this start building button, my ServiceNow demo instance opens up in front of me, which somewhat looks like this. Let me refresh it. So sometimes what happens, people are still working on the older UI. This is the newer UI which you see in front of you. This all button, favorites, history, workspaces. This is the newer UI which has come along with San Diego version. Earlier, the UI somewhat looked like this. So some of people who have worked in ServiceNow, they are familiar with this kind of UI. So this is also the older version. This is how it used to look. But now it has been changed from San Diego. It has been changed to this UI. It is not opening up. But yeah, so that's how the UI looks right now. You have this all button. Functionality of this service now is exactly the same as the older versions. So there is no need to, worry about like this is different. Things might be different. No, the things are the same as the older version. And ServiceNow instance somehow looks like this. If I type incident over here, you see the contents related to incident are opened. So if I click on this all button, all the list, this is called a list. So list of all the incidents are open in front of me. So far, I have 77 incidents which are mentioned over here. So that is what the list of all the incidents are right now present in front of me, ordered with the number, you know, all of this. So this is the list of incidents. What is a list? What is a form? If I click on this, so if I click on this, I am opening the form which is related to this particular incident. So this is the form. On it, these are fields which you see: number, caller, category, subcategory. So we, as a developer, develop these fields, develop these forms, develop an application just similar to incident. If customer comes and asks us to create any custom application and something, so we are the ones as a developer, we or admin, we are the ones who do these sort of activities. All right. So in our next session going forward, I will be letting you know about all of these things. I will be telling you about environments that exist. I will be telling you about like update sets. What are update sets? You know, I try to make it more visual because that is how you learn. Then we will be coming about to tables, columns. How do we create? Then some of the questions are asked in interviews. So I take that as well, like interview related questions. So I will take up all of these.